Reports by council. Let's start down here. Councilmember Hunter Holland. Councilmember Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. I do have a few things, as usual. So for everyone in North Aurora and anyone who loves Colfax, because we have a lot of fans up there, we're going to have a Colfax visioning process beginning technically in June, though our first public meeting will be in July. So be sure you're checking the city's website. We're going to get word out about the meeting. This is a huge endeavor. It's going to be very in-depth, intensive. We really want to know what you want Colfax to look like within 5, 10, 20 years. And we really want you to think big. There have been a lot of efforts. I found a newspaper article from 1908 talking about planting trees and putting in medians and yada, 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 things that 100 years later we're still talking about. And we made a lot of improvements on Colfax, but when you think of how long improvement efforts have gone on in that area, hopefully we can come up with something more substantial this time around. So check the city's website, and if you're on my email distro, you'll be getting an email from me about it. Also, check out engageaurora.com. We want to hear what you have to say. We have a lot of questions up there. We really want your input. I've been leaving cards at work for people. Hopefully some other folks are too. And I wanted to congratulate a North Middle School student, Tyler. I'm going to butcher the last name. I apologize. But Tyler Orton Kiefer, I think is how you pronounce his last name. So he was awarded an award from the Aurora Rotary for middle school student achievement. And he was recognized at a recent Rotary Club meeting. He was joined by his family and North Aurora administrators. And he talked to the audience about all of his work and what it took for him to get so far. And I just want to congratulate him. We have a lot of amazing stories in our entire APS and Cherry Creek school systems. And it's wonderful when we really get to shine a spotlight on just a superstar that we have, young folks in our community. So congratulations to Orton. I also want to say hi, Al. I promised I'd do a shout out to a friend of mine at work. And last, but definitely not least, my daughter turns 1 next Saturday. Hard for me to believe, but I'm going to say happy birthday to my little Sydney. And that's all I have.
Councilmember Peterson.
Not tonight.
Councilmember Margaret.
Well, the perfect first birthday present for Sydney and the rest of the city is Cruisin' Havana, which is on Saturday the 16th. It's always kind of tied in honor of Father's Day. It's entitled, certainly involves a whole lot of fun families. From 2 o'clock until 8 o'clock, anywhere along the Strip. There are 5 locations set up. You can find it all. Just get out of your house, get down to Havana, and you will find the activity somewhere along the street. I would also like to reference one of my constituents and business owners who was featured in, well, I think it was I finally got to my reading, last month's Metro Graduates magazine. He, Rob Lamphere, is a mentor for a 12-year-old girl who is starting a cupcake business. And so I know this wouldn't show up on film, but Rob and his young mentee are baking away a little project he has called POUR, P-O-U-R, kids, and he works with kids to get businesses started. So couldn't be prouder with him. He also runs the concessions at Heather Ridge Golf Course, which is open for golf play, of course, but Noonan's is his operation as well. And one last thing, if it happens to be, if you've had enough sun already, by Sunday, June 24th at 2, the Community Knit In is back at the Central Library. Bring your knitting needles and your projects and settle in for an afternoon of fun. Some amazing women with some amazing stories, making some amazing gifts that go to Children's Hospital. So if you want to learn to knit or want to knit, Sunday the 24th. Thanks.
Councilmember Laguerre.
Yes, Mayor, and as promised, I wanted to talk just a little bit more about the transportation bond ballot question that was introduced this evening. And in our discussion, the Alameda interchange was mentioned, and that's one of the mill levies that's expiring with the completion of that debt payment. And I recall back when the Alameda interchange question was on the ballot, it was in fact the business community that initiated it and supported it, because they felt that if we did not build the Alameda interchange, the Aurora Mall would be dead in 10 years. And in fact, we got a revitalized mall and another shopping center to the north of Alameda as a result of that. And I believe from just conversations I've had that it's going to be a very strong backing from the business community on this item. But I did want to mention, Tabor was mentioned this evening, the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. Tabor does not say that we can't raise taxes. It says, as Councilmember Cleland mentioned, it says take the question to the voters. And that's in fact what we're going to do. And the other thing Tabor says is that once the governmental entity places an item on the ballot, that governmental entity shall not use any taxpayer dollars to promote that ballot question. So when this second reading comes, we're going to sever the umbilical cord between taxpayer dollars and this campaign, and that's the point at which myself and Mayor Hogan are going to be working with a citizen and business community committee to form a campaign committee and to promote this effort. And we're going to recruit Councilmember Miller because her passionate argument for this thing made me feel like she should be running this campaign. So anyway, I did want to mention that this list of projects that we approved tonight, it's a project list that we're going to work on. And because we cannot post that on the city website, anybody that wants to see it in the interim before a campaign committee is formed can go to my website, boblaguerre.com, click on the issues button, and there should be a link there for you to download the project list and the narrative list. And then there will be a campaign committee formed. You'll be able to get more information, and hopefully we'll have people that'll come forward and want to volunteer. So thank you very much.
Mayor Pro Tem Clallam.
One of the other jobs that I do part-time or volunteer is I am chair of the Aurora Housing Authority. The Housing Authority has been very lucky in that we have received what we call VASH vouchers, which they are vouchers from the Veterans Administration, the VA, to provide housing for homeless veterans. We have 75 VASH vouchers. Right now, we only have 40 that are out. And we need help. You can contact me. You can contact the Housing Authority. If you know a veteran that is in need of housing, as I said, let me know, let the Housing Authority know. One of the problems is working with the VA. The VA, I don't want to be too negative, is a little slow in theoretically, you go through the VA and the VA makes the referral to the Housing Authority. But if you do know somebody, we can try and figure out a way to get through to the VA and get that recommendation, that voucher back so that we can take care of it. So if you know any vets that need some housing, please let me know.
Councilmember Broom.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Tuesday, I attended the ribbon cutting for the Highline Vision Center. It's a 10,000 square foot facility that's located on the corner of Smoky Hill Road and Aurora Parkway out by Southlands Mall. This is a facility that employs 50 people. It's a very modern facility. The doctors there have been serving the Aurora and Centennial community out there for almost 30 years, and they're really happy to be in their new digs. Thank you.
Councilmember Pierce.
Thanks. This past Friday, myself and several council members attended the Arapahoe County Open Space Shareback Ceremony. Every year at this time, Arapahoe County shares a portion of the open space tax that we all pay in Arapahoe County. When you buy something, your sales tax, portion of your sales tax goes to Arapahoe County for open space, and that is shared back to the cities based on population. So because we're the biggest city in Arapahoe County, we get the biggest share of the share back money. So usually it's around $5 million a year that our Parks Department uses for open space acquisition and trails, and makes our city a lot better with parks. So maybe the city manager can get us the exact figures on what we received at that ceremony. And also there was grants that we received, 3 grants as well that day. So I'm sure there might be a ceremony down in front here commemorating that event. And then secondly, on June 23rd coming up, the Aurora Historical Society is having what they call an old-fashioned garden party at the Centennial House. It's up at 1671 Galena Street in original Aurora, June 23rd from 1 to 4 p.m. It's the celebration of their new garden that they just planted. It's also an ice cream social, so you can come and have some ice cream, look at the garden, take a tour of the Centennial House that afternoon, and tickets are $5 at the door, so hopefully everyone can attend. Thank you.
Councilmember Bersons.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone who came to our Ward 3 meeting Wednesday night. We had a very good time. We had Kirk, who's the new owner of, well, actually, he is the owner of the new, it's called Zuki's Frozen Yogurt. And it is on Buckley between Alameda and Mississippi. And he and his wife are military, so they would love to see you come in. And if you haven't been there, go try it. It has a lot of little tables. So anyway, it's a real good guy. It's family-owned. Zuki's Frozen Yogurt. I want to tell everybody that the city will have our fireworks the 4th of July. We will have a band. We will have places for you to sit out on the east side of the city building. Please come, bring your picnic dinner or eat before you come. Fireworks are at 9:30. I believe the music starts at, 7? The band starts at 6:30 or 7 or something like that. So anyway, stay in Aurora, have a good time, and enjoy the fireworks. You can lay right there and they'll come up over your head. The Ward 3 next meeting will be July 21st. It is on a Saturday, and we'll be having our Ward 3 picnic Bicentennial Park from 11 to 2. You do not have to bring anything but yourself. Food and drinks will be provided for you. Just come and have a good time and meet your neighbors and sit and chat for a little bit. Thanks.
Councilmember Roth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two items. First of all, on June 23rd and 24th, the Arapahoe County ARES, which is short for Amateur Radio Emergency Services, is having a 24-hour field day. Now, I got to tell you, I don't know a lot about the ARES, but there are two very, very active members in Ward 5, so I'm learning more about it all the time. This field day basically is going to have volunteers from around the country. They're going to come here and be at the Cherry Creek Schools Instructional Support Facility, which is in Centennial, but it's 5416 South Riviera Way, Centennial 80015. And what they're going to do, one of the things they're going to do is they're going to be using alternative forms of energy such as solar and wind, batteries, generators to actually power up their gear using VHF, UHF, satellite, all different types of things to contact as many people as they can across the country to show their capabilities. And from a local standpoint, what they do is they do provide, in an emergency situation, they would provide communication services for our first responders. And so it's an interesting little display that they're going to have June 23rd, 24th. It is open to the public, and they've tried to reach out to a lot of elected officials to make it as well. The second item is on June 25th is my next Ward 5 town hall meeting. It's at 6:30. It's at Peace with Christ Lutheran Church, and our presenters will be the first responders, which is Rural Metro Ambulance, Police, and Fire. So please make it. Thanks.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address council this evening? Seeing no one, we are adjourned.